All right, my beloved. So, we want to bring you into the necro paradigm. This shit's scary. We figured out through the Templar process that both left pillar and right pillar, well, let's put it this way. The Boaz pillar, from Saturn on down, is engaged in all the terrible things that need to be here for the cosmic revolution. You know, the things to continue to move, fluidity, right? All the terrible things, the ends, the worst, furthest, the most extreme is what the Boaz pillar is. To that direction. You know, like terrible authoritarianism, terrible austerity, disease, right? Degradation, limblessness, all the things that are removed from the body, right? Bad things, right? That remove from the satiation of the body. And on the right pillar is all the things that can add to the satiation of the body, but lead to death. Wait till you find out on the left, there are cold-blooded killers. In craft, the ascended ones. And on the right, there are cold-blooded killers. But it comes about a different way. Let's talk about it. The left is engaged in all the terrible things we talk about. The right is engaged in all the terrible things we talk about the left doing, but helping the left be benefic at it, right? The right is handing people to the left to keep them in power. The right magic, white magic, is still removing lives from here, but it comes out in a different process, and it's typically children. It comes a different process, right? One side's like the nappers that take things, that don't really harm the things, but remove that value and give them to the things that they know harm those things, right? So I said your benefics aren't really benefic, guys. They're not really benefic. You can get Jupitered into a terrible Saturnic situation that ends your existence, right? By people who aren't really doing that thing, right? Aren't really doing that crime, aren't really doing that thing, aren't really doing the thing, and then lead you right to it. You weren't really going to do that thing unless that person was with you and you were co-doing it, right? That's the Jupiter method. The Saturn method is you just did the thing, right? Just you, right? You had people under you, but you, right? Because that's how you get a spirit, right? You do a thing, right? Same side, other side, they do it differently, right? Still get spirits. They're over there sexing people to death and stuff, right? Jovially. And on the left, they're slicing people to death, jovially. Loving it. Ends each way. You're not supposed to go to the left or the right. Right? That's what the whole temple process is. To shoot you straight up to the middle. Because the only thing that we get benefit from here, right, is the sun, the moon, and the earth. Right? There's no indication the other things are benefit. Right? They are all gods. Right? All the aspects, aka the planets, they're all gods. They have authority, intelligence. They have action here. All the major things that happen here, the changes of the ages, from Pluto on down. You want psychic abilities? You have to go up. You want spiritual abilities? You have to go up. Certain spiritual abilities. Spiritual abilities to learn what rights and entitlements are, because the rights that you get here on left and right pillar are associated with the spirit. Each spirit gets a certain amount, and they know this. And the taker of spirits can get a spirit, right? Left or right. And each spirit they add adds them in rights and entitlements of energy, opportunity, hope, advancement. Luck would have it that that's how that works. Is luck a good thing? I don't know. Is it benefic? We have to know. Luck would have it, a certain job would make it to you, then you have a situation where someone gets you in trouble because you didn't even do that thing, but they just feel like getting somebody in trouble. Right? Is that benefic? The Jupiter situation brought you to Saturn. Right? Just some thoughts. The center is where we're at. or you ought to be. You know who's up the center? Neptune, Pluto. You can kick it over to Hakama, right? To Uranus, right? Or the zodiac, whatever you think is in that upper spot on the right pillar. But realistically, you want Da'ath and you want Cathar, Keter, right? Which is Neptune, right? The top mind is telepathic. The top mind gets access to other things where people can't be. See things where you aren't at. Without equipment. Come on, they did it way back then. We talk about it. We talk about it all the time. The possibilities of it. Why is it on the mind? It's more than just parts of speech. These things preside preeminently in the past and in the future through a process that we humans get access to. Not all things are fantastically fantastic. Some of these things are happening, had happened, and will happen because we get access to that specific temporal and preeminent access to the reality. The reality is flexible in that area, right? And we know that. The ascension of the mind, otherwise the ascension of the mind would have nothing to do with you achieving anything. Is the ascension of the mind material, physical, psychosocial, ever present? It's ever present, but not in the external, in that capacity unless you're radiating. Radiating being speech, right? The main instrument, if you can notice my lips, kind of look like the thing you launch arrows with. Some thoughts on that. The bones. They're an instrument, right? They initiate radiation. It's how you cast spells. It's how you remove curses. It's how you bless. It's how you authorize. Acts for access, right? And pay respects. We believe all those things all the way up through Keter, Pluto, right? Cathar and even beyond, because there's more beyond Cathar. There's more between Cathar and Ein Sof than we talk about, but it's not important for us because from Cathar down, from Pluto on down, is what we deal with. We're ruled by the things we see, right? And the things we see are the gods, the planets, the things that access to us, right? They totally have access to us, and we have access to them through a relationship process, right? There are male and female aspects to each aspect, right? Because the humanity, the mind, is both masculine and feminine. We personify the planets as individuals, right? But there's really a male and female aspect to each one, even Mars, even Mercury. There's a male and female aspect to all of them. Mercury is the easiest one to look at because it has that kind of androgyny-ish, yes, it's a male figure, but it has those lighter features compared to the rest of them, right? Because the mind, it's supposed to refer that the mind is balanced, right? And the highest mind comes from above this plane. We get access to spiritual access to rights and stuff here based on the spirit we have or the mind we have. The mind has to capacitate the ability for more. More can be had if the mind can understand more. The difference between a man who has just came out of high school and a nuclear physicist is what? If we assume humanity, all things conclusive, the value of that brain is the same, then we are, by input and extraction, because education refers to an extraction process, you have to have the capacity for it, right? Some people don't have the capacity for all education. It's a capacitance, right? So we know the values of the equipment are the same if the capacitance is the same, just like running a motor. A certain capacitance works it better. Less and more beyond that parabola makes it not as efficient or not as good. We know that. We're in an envelope. The existence is in an envelope where we have this mind, matter, social, psycho, physical, material experience, right? If you can change your mind and have benefit from it, then your mind changes reality. Ergo. Just some thoughts. Don't get wound up on the left and right. Even the biblicals say not to go to the left and right, right? We can apply that. The middle would be the sun, moon, and earth, and the zodiac. Because what's in the middle of us? What we look up, we see in the middle, zodiac. It's a spinning, right, from the North Star. Essentially, geolocating. But our central is that thing, the one we consider time with. Because that's the central component of this existence. How time works, how our minds work, how we get access to things, and what we're supposed to be looking onto, right? There's some awful stuff here that's going to get cleared out, and it's the sun, moon, and earth that's going to do it. My personal prediction is that the sun can turn on and a certain spectrum opens up and we can see all the normal people would be able to see the specters hanging off witches on each side. Because you're on each side doing the same thing. Have a great rest of your day.